WCNC Charlotte. This is Flashpoint, where power and politics collide and the tough questions get asked and answered.
Thanks for joining us here on Flashpoint. I'm Ben Thompson. A new face to politics getting ready to enter North Carolina's General Assembly. Democrat Jordan Lopez set to become North Carolina's youngest legislator at just 25. Lopez running unopposed this year to represent the east side of Charlotte. And the new District 112 has some constituents ready for change. Joining us now is Jordan Lopez. He's running for to represent Charlotte in the General Assembly. So, Mr. Lopez, thanks for coming on Flashpoint for your first appearance. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate you. Appreciate being here.
Now, usually state legislative races don't get much attention, at least not in the primaries, but your race is different. For one, you're running unopposed in the primary and in the general election. That doesn't often happen. So if all goes as planned, you will be the youngest state legislator up in Raleigh. So why are you running now?
Thank you for the question. And that's really for a variety of reasons. The first one is the opportunity in and of itself. I didn't have running for office in 2024 on my bingo card, but when the legislature redrew our maps again, there was a new district created in East Charlotte, East Mecklenburg County, and I had gotten a few calls encouraging me to run, asking if I was interested in running, and initially the answer was no. But admittedly, you start to think about it differently when you have people from your community really encouraging you and telling you should take this leap. I also wanted to take it as an opportunity to inspire other young people to run. There aren't, as you mentioned, I'll be the youngest legislator in Raleigh if everything goes well in about a year from now. And that shouldn't be the case. There should be more young folk in Raleigh because young folk are our school teachers. Young folk are becoming our lawyers, are becoming our doctors, are becoming our nurses, and they should all have a say, and people from our generation should have a say in the policies that govern how we're able to build our lives and also how we're able to build our communities and how the rest of our state looks. So wanted to take that as an opportunity to hopefully be an inspiration to other young folks. And when they see that, one is in, let's keep them coming.
So were you surprised that you were running unopposed, or was that part of the appeal for you?
No, that was a surprise. So, I mean, I wasn't aware of anybody else that was going to run as I was kind of prepping and reaching out to the different folks around the community to get their support. I hadn't heard any other names being floated out there, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, wanted to be prepared and ultimately expected somebody else to run, but that didn't happen when filing closed. And it was like, wait a minute, it kind of got real there for a second.
Let me be a skeptic for a second. What some folks could argue is that what younger candidates possess with enthusiasm, they lack in savvy and experience when it comes to legislating. So do you think that you can be more effective than, say, other Democrats in passing legislation, knowing that you're going to have to work with Republicans?
That's a great question, or a great point to make. And I have experience at the legislature. I served 2 years there as a legislative assistant, and I get it. The legislative assistant role may not sound super fancy, but LAs do a lot of the groundwork at the legislature. And I mean, those offices are mostly staffed by one person. It's you and your members. So when I was there, I got a lot of hands-on experience, watching my members successfully work with Republicans on a variety of issues. So I know that there are ways to be effective, and I do look forward to trying to work with Republicans to actually pass policies that will benefit not only the lives of East Charlotteans, but people across the state. So I'm very aware of people who think like that about younger candidates, but at the same time, we've got to get in there and we've got to learn too. And I'm not above that. I know that there is going to be a learning curve, but that's why I have other members of the House Democratic Caucus, for example, that I can reach out to and ask for their assistance, their insight into how to go about working with the other side.
You'll be representing an area that you actually grew up in. In your view, what's gone unnoticed over those 25 years?
Oh man, what hasn't? It seems like, well, Eastland Mall was a very big thing, and I'm not going to get too into the weeds about it because that's not so much a state level issue, but I think it speaks to a larger issue of economic development in East Charlotte. I can speak to transportation issues in East Charlotte. I mean, this is a more or less low income part of the city, and people don't have access to cars in every case. So working on expanding or making it easier for the city, I guess I'll say, to address transportation issues along Albemarle Road, which is a state maintained road. I would love to be a partner or liaison even between the state and between the city, and how we can make that more effective for people to get around via bus, via bike, or whatever their case may be. Staying on transportation. If you look at far East Charlotte, it's impossible to walk. It's extremely dangerous to bike. East Charlotte has a pretty high instance rate of like pedestrian fatalities or accidents. So wanting to take a good look at how we can address that from a state level. Affordable housing is a concern, and affordable housing is a concern, as well as public education. We have a young community, many families with children in school, so making sure that they're getting a quality education is going to be a priority of mine. I'm a proud product of Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, so wanting to make sure that we're putting in the time and the effort to ensure that the next generation of students is getting the same quality of education that I got, and can end up in places like this.
Sure. As you know, your run is part of a big wave of young Democratic leaders running for office, including the state chairwoman Anderson Clayton. What do you see is what is spurring this movement?
I think a sense of urgency. Young folk have grown tired of like the just waiting for things to get better, and especially now that more of us are becoming able to run for office, becoming of age to take these types of steps. We want to see things happen. And we get it. Our government is designed to be a bit slow, and it's not bad in every case, but at the same time, there are issues that have been punted for years. There are issues that a majority of North Carolinians support that keep getting punted. Medicaid expansion just happened last year, but that's something that could have taken place almost a decade ago, if not a decade ago. And a majority of North Carolinians have supported that for quite some time. So it's a matter of showing people that government can work. You just have to have leaders in office that are willing to put up the fight, willing to put in the effort, and to see things through.
A good part of this newly drawn district was part of Tricia Cotham's district, who switched to the Republican Party a year ago. As a person of East Charlotte, a resident of East Charlotte, a person who grew up in East Charlotte, did you feel betrayed by that action?
Yes, I did. I was not was not a constituent of Representative Cotham, but our district is right next door, and admittedly was very frustrated that she switched parties at the beginning of last year, just months after taking office, after being elected as a Democrat. That is a gut punch. It makes you question elected officials, and I do have slivers of Mint Hill within the district. And I was telling somebody before, it's going to be important to really get out there and to earn their trust back, because imagine you voted for a candidate who ran on one thing, months later they're switching parties, and then weeks after that they're the vote that decides the fate of abortion in North Carolina, or they're the vote that decides the fate of unaccountable school vouchers that are going to divert money away from our public school system. So that's a real issue, and of course I was definitely frustrated by it. I know other voters were frustrated by it. So now the work begins to begin repairing that trust.
All right, Jordan Lopez running to represent East Charlotte in the General Assembly. Great to see some younger folks run for office, whether it's at the state level, local level. It brings more people to the table, and that's only a good thing, no matter what you believe politically. All right, Mr. Lopez, thanks for coming on Flashpoint. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. You have a good one.
Up next on Flashpoint, a Charlotte-based nonprofit pushing for big and environmentally friendly changes to the city in 2024.